أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم ارحمنا جلينا. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه يا رب العالمين. آمين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. وصلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه أجمعين. آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Now, sorry for the delay, but it was a good reason. So this brother is not always here, and we don't really refer to professional aspect of any subject related to belief, but in this case, because he was our guest, so we respected him. So I don't know, inshallah, we didn't waste our time, huh? No. That's good. So, okay. Now going back to our subject, we left off here in this paragraph, or the paragraph will say also through the insight of belief. But the last sentence we read last Saturday, some people didn't find it very clear, and we have been discussing about it in the car and afterwards as well. So we discussed, and inshallah, she is going to explain it to us.
Sure, yeah. So,
okay. That's great.
So we've been discussing on how do we see the Creator's manifestation in objects and events. And I felt that in the last class, the last sentence that says the insight of belief.
Now, let me clear. Has everybody found? It's not in this book.
Okay, yes. So if you guys have the handout, it's the last sentence.
Just a minute. First, establish the material things. So you are good. How about you? This brother doesn't have.
No, I'm good. I'll listen.
Not everybody listens. But you think Allah created the eyes for nothing? So, yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, oh, you got this. Okay, you can share. If anybody comes later on, you can give it to them, inshallah. Okay, it was my mistake. I didn't make more copies. No, they have.
I have.
Oh, you have it? Okay.
I got the PDF.
Now, is everybody on the same page where we are reading from? This sentence.
The one here.
Oh. Just a minute.
I didn't get a chance to take a picture of this as well, so I have it in my
Okay, you can get this back.
They have it over there? You want?
I have it.
Here.
Okay, there's
What's
one.
inside? Here.
No.
Start from here.
Here,
So,
Eric. That's extra.
we have extra? Yeah. Okay. Now, is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Ready? Yay. So ready to listen to Sister Shana? Know where we are, what we are talking about? Not yet. Let's settle down. Because when you are explaining an essential subject, if I am just looking at it, I don't really concentrate. Human beings cannot really do two reflections at the same time. We're confused. We materially can do two things at the same time.
Sure.
Especially the ladies cook 5 different dishes at the same time. They are very good at it. So, but when it comes to reflection, you can only reflect one point. So that's what I experienced. Ready, okay.
All right, everybody, okay. Okay, good. So we are referring from the second last sentence of the first paragraph of the fourth ray. Okay. So, well, I'll read it briefly. The insight of belief established that my essential being is the shadow of a divine name, which is both enduring and eternal. So I know there are some words here that it's hard to grasp. For example, I guess by now we emphasized on what the author means by the insight of belief, which is really one's awareness, your consciousness of your own existence. So that's the insight of belief. And okay, so the problematic word that was shadow. So shadow of a divine name. So shadow is basically the manifestation of a divine source or the absolute source. So for example, if you were to look at an object, if you look at this cup, it has qualities and it reflects, let's say if you see the shadow of it. So for the shadow, if you see something, a shadow of an object, it means that the object must exist because you cannot have a shadow without the object. So the shadow actually is a sign that there is an absolute creator out there.
It's too jumping now. The shadow is a sign
Right.
that an external object exists,
Mm-hmm.
although you may not see the object.
Right. True.
Now, shadow is a sign that another object exists.
Mm-hmm.
That although you may not in this world, that is the metaphor.
Right.
That's the analogy we are making here.
Mhm.
Actually, a shadow would say that two objects exist, something that emits light and something that is blocking out light.
In this world, yeah, that is
I mean,
that
if
is
we're
how we
taking the
see.
analogy.
But analogy is taken for the logic of it. The logic is, if I see a shadow, I conclude that definitely an object apart from the shadow itself exists. Right?
Right.
That is an analogy. It is the analogy.
Within that logic, the shadow is another object, just
Yeah.
like the cup.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
one of them is an external object.
But they are interdependent on each other.
No, they are not independent on each other. Shadow is dependent on the external object. So object is not dependent on its existence. For example, if there was no shadow, object still exists. If there was no object, shadow will never exist. So that is the analogy now. We are taking this analogy. Yeah. Ihab saying there must be a light. We are taking the analogy only in this frame. No, we are learning from the way that the universe exists. And in the universe, the existence of the universe witnesses that. To me, shows that you may see an independent thing, a thing which is totally dependent on something else, although you may not see it. So it may be an analogy used in classical philosophy. I don't want to mention the name, it's a very famous tradition. So you say, you see the shadows, and that definitely refers to the existence of something else. That analogy is very ancient with human race, if you like. So thousands of years the people use this analogy. This is just analogy. Now, take this analogy. What are we going to do with this analogy? Give me another analogy of the mirror and the light. Similar analogy, just to consolidate what we are talking about.
Right. So, for example, if you have a mirror there is light reflecting on it. And okay, so now when you question, is it actually the mirror, which is the source of existence of the light? I mean, we know that the light is being reflected through the sun, but to describe the creator, because the creator is indescribable within the.
Just a minute, don't jump again to the creator. We're going to the creator. So to become a Muslim is very easy. So believing in God and finished, we are done now. Okay, let's pray. Now, so that's the analogy. You make this analogy logically consistent.
Okay.
So what is missing in this world? The difference, noticing the difference between the difference between, okay, what, I don't know what it means exactly. We have to explain a lot about secular science. Secular science observes. But if someone says, what do you mean by secular science? It is a problem word. Secular means a lot. But in the social context, in the scientific context, in the legal context, it has different meaning, yes? Mm-hmm. So we don't go into it because it is not our aim. In this materialistic science, they observe and never question further. That is the difference between what we learn from the materialistic civilizations, the way of reasoning, and from the revelation that some people say, I am the prophet, employed by God, etc. I don't know whether to get these final ideas. I don't know yet. But they say that, no, you have to question further. Well, I have to think whether it makes sense or not. So the materialistic science or secular approach to the universe is descriptive. They say, look at the mirror. They don't say it is a mirror or not. I don't know. They say, whatever it is, what I am sure of, light is coming from there. That's it. That's what I see. That's my evidence. I am sure of it. I have really detected the light coming from this object. We say, this man is talking on a subject or talking about a subject based on evidence. That's why you read in the books a lot. Science speaks with evidence. So, but they never say that this evidence, some philosophers say, this evidence is nothing more than observance. That, is it really sure that I observed light coming from this object, which we call it mirror, or any shiny object? The light is coming from. Can you argue against it? You say no. And even you are a believer, a Muslim, say, Wallahi, I saw this. Yeah. But the Quranic teaching says, don't be simplistic. I, as the creator of you, have given you a lot of qualities of questioning deeper. Use it. Don't be lazy. Don't be superficial. So, what are we now going to do? Yeah, that's what I see as well. I'm not saying no, but I'm now questioning one step ahead. The light is coming. Yes, I experienced it. But where is it coming from? From this object. It's a shiny object, or we call it mirror to make it easy. Mirror. Light is coming. I ask question. I am not lazy. I ask question. Can you ask the question now?
Can it be the source of the light?
Sorry?
Can that mirror be the source of the light?
Can that mirror be the source of the light? Yeah? I have to ask this question. Because observation is not enough. Although we don't deny the observation, we cannot deny the observation. We are created with the ability, we are made with the ability to observe. I cannot deny that. But what I see is, what I observe, I have more qualities to question, go deeper, and ask. Yes, okay, I've seen that the light is coming from the mirror, yeah. This quality is coming from the mirror. When I look at the book, the meaning is coming from the book. Yeah, I'm reading it. Even I can challenge further. If there was no book, there would be no meaning. Oh yeah, really? It's really true. If there was no this shiny object, mirror, there would be no light. Really true. I cannot deny that. So simple. So they say, since the existence of light depends on the existence of mirror, mirror is the cause, light is the effect. Very square mind, but very stupid, simplistic and shallow, artificial mind.
What makes you think that it's
So-
shallow? Go ahead.
We will question. We say, question, go further. As Ihab asked the question, I have to go less. Yes, I am observing that the light is coming from the mirror, but can this object, the mirror, be the source of existence of this light? Can I explain the existence of light by attributing it to the mirror itself? I have to ask this question because it's coming from there. That's my observation, which is legitimate, but I have further qualities to ask. Why shouldn't I use it? Why shouldn't I use my human qualities? What prevents me from using it? So since I have it, I have to use it.
Shouldn't we also ask if the mirror is really a mirror? Maybe it's not a mirror.
Whatever it is, a shiny thing, whatever the object is there, an object is coming from there.
Because when you
Because
say mirror,
analogy.
you're saying it has to, because mirrors
No, no, no.
reflect, they're not.
No, if it wasn't a mirror or a shiny object, it wouldn't reflect the light, so it wouldn't be our subject to talk without using it as a metaphor. That's what we are seeing. It is not a made-up metaphor. It's a real thing in the world. That's what I see. If we can apply the same questioning to the shadow example. I've seen a shadow. I'm sitting here, a shadow like that moved. I understand that there's an object. Sure. Although the object may be at the back or other side of something that I don't see what's back. Right? Doesn't matter whether I saw that. That's just an analogy there. A shadow and an object. No. Shadow's existence depends on the object's existence, not the other way around, vice versa. The object's existence doesn't depend on the shadow's existence. So, in the same example, in my seeing the shadow, I say shadow is the result of an external, another object that demonstrates for me that there is another object, and ask. Mirror example, the light is coming from there, so I have to go and ask, can the mirror be the source of existence of this light? Now I think you can carry on. You are taking notes. Okay. So
That's
go
pretty
further.
good.
So don't jump in, but when it comes to time, you can jump. Not now, not yet.
I think we pretty much covered it now.
Yeah. So the real object must exist. That is important. The second stage is important. The first stage, seeing that the light is coming from a mirror or any object, is based on observation. But when you ask can the mirror be the source of existence, and investigate it, that can you be the source of existence of this, apart from what I observed, because the light is coming from there, then logical, not experiential, not, we call it technically, a priori thing. Now a priori thing comes, a priori state of reasoning comes. It means if I find out that the glass or the shiny object may be a stone, certain stones also reflect it. Everything reflects actually light. So its stone cannot be the source of the light coming from. So the logical reasoning continues. So logical reasoning says, then there must be a source, right? But those people who call themselves scientists, they say, we are talking about the methodology. Don't get bored. The methodologically, you can apply it to every science or every subject. So since the mirror in this example, or a piece of glass, cannot be the source of the existence of light, so I have to find out, because it is necessary. It is necessary by what? Not experientially. It is necessary logically. That's why when you have a logical conclusion as a necessary conclusion, you cannot use observation. So the scientists seemingly, some of them, not all of them, not all scientists are stupid, some of them are. So they ask the question. This simple-minded scientists, do you observe the source of the light? Because they know that what the reasoning will go to end up with. Do you observe? No, we don't study. We don't talk about the things that we cannot observe. Does it sound familiar? All the scientists claim this. We cannot really speculate or talk about the things that we cannot observe. Your logic, your human qualities, not only observes it, necessitates it. Be a human being. Not a Muslim, not a Christian, not a believer, nothing. Be a human being.
I don't see anything wrong with that, though.
Which one?
Not as a scientist trying to be, objective, to say that I will not speak about something that I cannot observe. I don't see that as wrong. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying I won't speak about it, and you make your own conclusion. I mean, I don't think that's something wrong. I can give you the facts as I observe, and you make your own conclusions based on your own beliefs and what you.
No. Based on your own beliefs. It's not a belief. It is just an assumption, bigotry, based on your own bigotry, because you decide not to use your brain.
If you say that, okay, no, if you can't observe it, then it doesn't exist. Then then I have a problem with that. But if you say that, no, I mean, here are the facts. Scientifically, this is what happens. And you as a human being, you can take this information, and if it confirms your faith, great. If it doesn't, then you maybe have to question your faith.
Don't use the word faith, man. If you are not convinced as a human being,
right? If you're not convinced,
faith comes after being a human being. That don't again skip the steps. So we have to be a human being first. You have to use your human qualities first, and then your ultimate conclusion will be, you say, not faith. I don't know the word, but you say there must necessarily be a thing which is the source of this light. Even I don't observe it, even I don't experience it, and logic cannot experience it. Logic concludes. It is against the nature of logic to expect that I am going to observe it here. It means If the light is coming from the mirror, if this is an example, it's just metaphor. If the light is coming from the mirror, I see that it is the mirror here and the light is coming here. I'm observing it. That makes sense. Yeah? And if the mirror itself, the object where the light reflects, cannot be the source of light, logic says there must be a source of light. Although I am not observing this source here, that is my conclusion. What kind of conclusion? Human conclusion. As a human being. If I don't approve this conclusion in my own experience, I am contradicting my humanity. Nothing to do with religion. I am contradicting my humanity. I am rejecting my reality as a human being, and I should not claim that I am a human being. I am not using my humanity. I am an animal being. All right. Animals go and smell and eat it, everything. They don't question the source of it. But a human being should question it. But if a scientist says, that's my observation, in the mirror, I've seen the light is coming from the mirror, and I don't want to further my humanity to question whether the mirror itself or the shiny object itself can be the source of light or not. I don't question it. I say, okay, you are that much human being. All right, that's your choice. None of my business. My business is I have to pay attention to use my humanity in full.
I'm just thinking because, like, for example, there are scientists that have.
Speak about yourself. And actually,
I'm
that's why if you try to defend somebody else, we don't know what they are doing. We are theoretically speaking.
Right. My point is that there are. I am going to talk about other people now about myself because I'm not a scientist, but there are scientists, like Einstein, for example. There were some theories that he rejected just based on his belief. He did not. He rejected them just based on his belief, not based on actual observation.
Don't use belief. It's bigotry.
That's my point. That's my point. He rejected them because of his belief, not because he could observe it or not.
No, not because of his belief, because of his bigotry, not using human quality and asking and making the necessary conclusions as a human being.
That's why you have to be impartial then.
Impartial about what?
Impartial in that you don't bring your belief into it.
No, do you know, this is the just strange argument. We have not talked about belief at all.
What do you mean by belief? Sorry.
Like
Einstein's belief, what is it?
Yeah.
His
like
theories,
like
they
like for
contradict
example,
his
he believes that
belief.
God exists. And
No. We never said that.
I know we didn't say that. I'm just giving
But
an example.
why do we bring it into and make the case complicated? We never said
Because
that
it is
I believe in God.
complicated.
No, it is not complicated. It's very simple. What do people do? Because in practical terms, we take our belief in God for granted and apply it to our reasoning. That stupidity got the title of belief. It's not belief. It is just stupid thing to do for a human being. So you cannot implement your conclusion into your analysis. Your analysis must follow your own human qualities. As a result of your analysis, you conclude that there must be. That's called your belief. But you have to complete your analysis. So if someone says, I am going to conclude my analysis only at the level of observation and observance, I'm not going to use my logic and human qualities to further my qualities, then we say, okay, well, I cannot do that. It may be good for you, none of my business. I cannot do that because I am a human being and I have to use my human qualities. That's why I have to go and further ask the mirror, the glass, can you be the source of light? That is the crux of everything, where materials, where they call it positivist, materialist science, definitely fails.
And also an issue of rejecting the idea that something else exists beyond the mirror is that you have an attitude as a scientist that becomes very cold, very instrumental, and you can go with things that really lacks of ethics, and this is why you can explain a lot of abuses in the science field for the past 50 years that is becoming from this attitude. So which doesn't mean that it has nothing to do with your belief, but rejecting from the outset the idea that something else may exist brings you to an attitude that is very, first of all, arrogant and very dominant in what you're doing.
That is called arrogant. It is bigotry. It is dogmatic. I hate it. Even it is used in the name of religion. I hate dogma.
But
Unfortunately, what they say, religion is dogma. Huh? Science is science bases its argument on evidence. Do you think we are stupid? I can't do that. I'm a human being. I can't do that. So we have to stop judging about other people. We have to say that this scientist is such and such people, clever or whatever, not using his human qualities, whatever. We have to stop that. I have to apply it for myself, only for myself.
no,
And
I mean,
see,
okay,
yeah.
so let's
Can I do that? No, finish.
You say that you have to be able to observe it
Observe
to make
what?
to make a conclusion. So say
Yeah.
say for example, you have I don't know, you see like light coming from on the moon, right?
No, make it simple, man.
I'm
Coming
making it
from this
simple.
one.
I'm making
No,
it
don't
simple.
go to the moon.
No,
It's here. An object is here. Here's the light.
Can I just finish? Can I just finish?
Yeah, but why
You
you
see-
go to moon, man? It's
Yeah,
coming from an
because
object
everyone
here.
can see the moon, right? I mean, you can see the moon, and you don't know. I mean, you see light coming from it, right? But you don't have, say, this is like 1,000 years ago. You don't have, you don't have telescopes.
That makes the things meaningless. The example you are taking
Can I just finish?
must be because
Can I
of the
just finish?
meaning.
You don't have telescopes, so you have
No,
no way.
man, don't go here. Here's the light is coming from this object. That's it. Why do you go to moon? So that when you ask whether the moon can be the source of the existence, I cannot use it. Here is the mirror and the light is coming. You can really look at the mirror itself.
I'm using it as an example for a reason, because it's hard to observe it. Say
Which
you
is not
don't-
hard to
you
observe.
don't- Say you don't have the ability to observe it. You don't have any telescopes.
No,
They weren't
that doesn't
invented
make
yet.
sense.
You didn't. No one invented telescopes yet. You can't look at the moon and
It's going to
closely and say,
telescope.
is it the source or not?
Why don't you take an example which is given to you here? You don't need a telescope. You don't need anything. Here is the piece of glass reflecting the sun's light. Why don't you go and look at the glass? Here, what am I doing? Here is the tree. Here are the animals. Here are the objects, stone, and see some meaning. Here is the book. I read it and I see some meaning. So I can get some meaning. Why don't I question this? I don't need a telescope for this. So make the matter obscure. So, well, no, we don't investigate it. We don't know. So we have to accept. That's why they have to go into 13 billion years ago, because we don't know. You cannot experience it. Yeah, that's a science. We have to be clever and use our human qualities. Here it is. Ask whether this can be the source of it. Source of its own existence. It is absolutely dependent on something else. The light is coming, and I see the mirror. If glass wasn't there, there would be no light reflecting. Oh, okay, the light is coming there. What is the source of the existence of light? It's a very simple question. So it is a very human being. You don't have to be a scientist. You have to be a human being. That's nothing more. Simple. So ask the question. The mirror. Okay.
You're asking me about that pixel. How is there light coming
No,
out?
no, no. I don't
Well,
know
I can tell you.
pixel.
I need a microscope to tell you
No,
how that happens.
here is the glass reflecting the sun. This is the metaphor, example given here, a practically possible to observe, to conclude by everybody. You don't have to be qualified with certain
You are making an
equipments.
assumption. You are
Right.
making an assumption that everything was created by God.
No,
You are.
no,
You are, because
No.
if you
wallahi
If you-
no.
if you
Sorry, you,
No, I was just commenting.
It's a
Yeah, secretary.
yeah, contradicted. No, that's why it's the job.
you're making an assumption that God created everything. And
No.
Can I finish, please?
But no,
You're
You are
making an
telling me-
assumption.
no, I
We
don't.
talked about this last time.
no, we don't.
You are making an assumption that God created everything, and because He created everything, He's giving everything it's giving everyone an equal playing ground to understand that He exists through observing anything. Right? You're making that assumption. If God did not exist, there is a possibility that not anyone can conclude anything. And they have to be scientists to be able to understand where everything came from, or maybe not even get to that state, because they never will go back billions of years and understand how this universe came into being.
I am just looking at this universe. I never said that because we believe in God, so we have to explain the universe according to our belief. It is stupid. And I'm sorry, when you say because we believe in God, I'm just making sure that it's not misunderstood. Yeah. When you say, because you believe in God, that's why you need to explain the word according to your existence of the word according to your belief. I take it as an insult. It means that I'm stupid. To make this kind of argument is very stupid and an insult for a human being to me. You have to be here as I am. I never use this expression at all. And if someone uses, I get annoyed and irritated, you know that. So I am here looking a meaning coming from the existence of an object, and a light is a metaphor, a light coming from a piece of glass. It's very simple. I say, oh, what I observed that the light is coming from the glass. So that's what I observed. That's true, that's correct, there's no need to deny. No, it is not coming from, no. So, but I say, now my human qualities urges me to ask this question, can the glass be the source of light? And now when it's the glass, I take the glass and took this way, oh, it doesn't reflect. And it has no quality to produce glass, to give existence to light, to produce light, to give existence to light. Then I have to use my human brain. If we make it more specific, human qualities in general, and start thinking. I see the light, I see the glass. Glass cannot be the source of existence of light, simply because I cannot deny the existence of light is I'm experiencing, but there's no source. Then I have to go further step. What can be the source of existence of light? That's a very human question. What can be? So I have to further investigate the qualities of light.
The sun.
No.
The sun is the source.
That is a metaphor.
No, I know.
Metaphor.
I mean, where does it end? The sun?
Quality,
Okay,
no,
so you can say the sun is the
qualities
source.
I observe. Qualities I observe.
Maybe you should use a different metaphor besides light, because I think that's getting.
No, so the metaphor
No,
is
I
between.
understand the metaphor. I'm
Okay,
saying-
why do you go further? Because you are misusing the metaphor.
I think what's going on is that it's even beyond the sun, right? Because the sun itself produces.
No, don't go there. When you go there, it means it's a very, very dangerous step to go to the sun because you see the sun here. But we are taking the metaphor within two element. One is the light, and I see it coming from the glass. So this metaphor is going to be used. Here is the universe, and I see the meaning is coming from the universe, the objects, and the qualities are manifested in the particles, and I have to ask the question, can the particles be the source of existence of these qualities? That is the metaphor is going to be used. If you just fall into the trap, what the sun, there is the sun, it means there's a sun, and the sun came from another, it's called the regress, endless ad infinitum regress. That's the philosophical terminology. Endless from that, and then we don't know the source. This is not logical at all. It is logically followable. So we cannot use anything logically followable for an argument. So I have to use the metaphor for its own sake. So human question, human capacity asks this question. Can you be the source of this? For example, this gentleman looks intelligent. Okay, speaks meaningful. Can you be the source of existence of your quality? No. Quality of the brain. So can the brain itself be the source of existence of its qualities? The same logic everywhere applied. Then you will conclude that the particles, they are all made of particles. The particles cannot be the source of existence of any quality that I see on particles. For example, I'm speaking, I am able to speak, I am able to see. Can I be, or can my particles be the source of the existence of this word is always missed by the deliberate people that they don't want to go further. Source of existence of the power of sight, power of thinking, or any qualities that we human beings have, loving, being compassionate or angry or whatever. Can the particles, exactly like you go to the glass and see, can you be the source of light? I can do the same thing, go to the particle, ask the particle, experience or study the particle. Do you have the qualities to be the source of your own qualities? So the ultimate question is this: can anything, any particle, be the source of its qualities? That's the ultimate question. That's it. You can solve the problem by studying one particle. You don't have to go rather somewhere that you need tools, or if you don't have the tools, you say, I don't know, I cannot make it, or space-wise or time-wise to yesterday. I don't know. I'm experiencing now. Okay.
I have a question. Does it also make sense to think that the problem maybe sometimes is that science is based on evidence that is observable, which is true. Our approach is based on also evidence observable. I can observe that the particle is not the source of its quality, it doesn't have those qualities. But then the proof or the conclusion that I'm trying to get to, or I would hopefully get to, is actually the negation of that observable truth. Meaning that basically you're not required to get to the sun being the source of light, for example. What you're trying to do is basically say that there is nothing in this universe that is the source of the qualities of the particles in the universe. And therefore, following sort of like that approach or the sun or whatever doesn't make sense, because basically what you're trying to get to is there is nothing, and therefore the thing that is the source of the qualities is not in the universe, and that's it. That's the end of the thing. But the science then insists on saying, well, where is that thing, or how can we observe it? It's not. The point is, we cannot, because it's not part of the universe. I mean, basically, you observe what's in the universe, and then you conclude that there's nothing in the universe. So it's a slightly different approach, but it's also based on observation.
But we should not forget that experience, this empirical approach, I don't want to use the technical words. The experience that we are using here is our experience. But further than this, we have human mind asking questions about the source of existence. Why do we block that ability, human ability? Why do we kill this human ability? Make humanity into a robot. So they say religion makes it. Why? Religion says we believe in God, you have to imitate it. You have to follow God. Even the Muslims exploit the Quranic language. The Quran says, Ati'ullah, you know the word now. It means obey God. It means, how do we take it? Be careful. In the argument, imitate the Quran. Obey God doesn't mean imitate the Quran. First, you have to, in order to obey God, you have to conclude that there is God that you have to obey. So, imitation is the meaning of atiya, ita'a in Arabic. Atiya, ita'a, obeying, has been hijacked into imitating. It's nothing to do with it. But it is the deep subject. Because of this problem, the commentary on the Quran and the basis of the argument that most of the scholars make fell into this trap. Because they are not really making the distinction between two steps. The step one is based on observation, which is human, very human. The second, as a result of observation, making logical conclusions. That is also essential human quality. That we are, if you like, encouraged not to use this human quality to question the source of existence of what I'm seeing here. Source of existence of anything. So this human quality is, if you like, in general speaking, there are exceptions, killed by scientists plus religious people. Both. That is why humanity is forced into imitation. The secular ones, or the materialist ones, or whatever you call them, I don't know. Some people say atheists. I'm not happy with any of these languages, but you have to use one of them. The secularists make human logic stop after certain step and make them stupid consumers of their productions. Then the religious people make the audience so that don't use your human qualities, make them stupid obedience of the religious authorities. Both of them are wrong. Does it make sense? It is illogical. It's obvious. If you use freely your human qualities, you can obviously understand that it is illogical. So what we have to do, we have to be human beings first. That's what we have to learn. We keep saying, and some people may be even bored, oh, how many times you repeat. It doesn't register. Our minds have been so much indoctrinated, washed, that it washed with bleach. No color is left. Make it a robot. In religious sense as well. Turn it into a really static thing for our minds. The first thing, we observe. And the second thing, we reason. Observation is empirical. Reasoning is Reasoning is a priori. A priori means within yourself. You cannot contradict yourself. You have to find the rest within yourself, peace within yourself. Be confident. My conclusion is there is a source of existence of the light in this observation that I'm seeing, and this source cannot be the glass itself, but something not of the nature of glass. Because the glass, I experienced that the glass itself cannot be the source of existence of light. So it must be not of the nature of the glass. That is the conclusion. That is logical, and it is only consistent logically. That's why it is called a priori conclusion. A priori conclusions are not really criticizable. So that's your conclusion, that's my conclusion, but conclusion, not imitation, not cultural, not I am Muslim, we Muslims believe in one God, or this kind of meaningless statements. Yeah.
Okay, just for the sake of argument, let me just ask a very quick follow-up question. Why can't I just be just like the scientists do, and these do criticize that and say, I have observed the matter, and I have found that the matter does not have the qualities of producing light, being the source of existence of light, because of 1, 2, 3, 4, and just stop it there and just make it as, you know, as clear and as to the point as the scientists try to make their observations about the qualities of
Let
things.
them make observation, but let them be human beings as well. They may not choose to be a human being. They may say, I'm not going to use my human qualities there. Only observation is enough for me. Then that's their choice. I cannot be. When I go home, my wife, I found that dinner is prepared, ready. I say, eat the dinner and say, okay, good, I'm lucky. Huh? And the wife says, you are not a man. You are not a human being. You are worse than an animal. And we have to have a fight.
No, I
No,
understand.
it is not human, because it is not human.
Yes, I understand. But then
Nothing to do with religion. You may be an atheist, still acknowledge that although you haven't seen it, you haven't experienced it, that it's really your wife. Maybe somebody else came and did it. You don't know. You have to say, thank you, wife. I said, no, this time you can thank my friend who was visiting. He prepared the dinner. She prepared, he prepared, whatever, the dinner for you. You turn to him and say, thank you. That's human.
I understand, but why don't we just leave that logical conclusion or that human reaction to the people, like you said, but leave it outside of the book? Like, for example, I don't know why I'm asking this, but basically I've never seen a science book that says this animal, after observation, cannot be the source of its quality. Like, wouldn't that be also a logical thing to conclude from the observation? Like, why does not a book like that, why can't we make it also scientific? And then the logical conclusion about that we should find the meaning in everything, that should be left out.
That is the 22nd century science, not 21st.
So it hasn't always
because
been like this?
they are so optimist, or the brother said here, obstinate. That they are very obstinate. They cannot for the moment, they are not doing it. So since the obstinacy persists, I have no hope. The human beings, when the human beings declare their religion, their freedom first, freedom comes first. But don't misunderstand, belief doesn't come first. Freedom comes first. And then you build your human qualities and freely conclude, that conclusion will be yours.
Remember when we give that example?
Okay, there are some.
She's raising her hand, man.
Sorry, I was gonna say. So what I was saying, actually, if you look at scientific books pre-Darwin and at Darwin's time, they do say things like that. They do attribute the animal's characteristics to the creation of God. and a creator. Like they used to do that before we became like this like
It's a bit problematic too.
minded-
'cause
He's saying not to jump there, yeah.
Leave it
Yeah, they
there.
would.
I'm not
I mean,
saying-
It wasn't
We
a
are not
good thing
arguing
per se
about
because
that.
they would never really go into depths of things. They're like, oh, the platypus has a flat bill because God gave it that, instead of like it has a flat bill because this and this, and so it can find food in this and this area that was given to it or something by the creator or something like that. But at the same time, like they did have science books actually, and in the first edition of Darwin's books and the sixth edition, he does give all of these listings of like why this happens and why this evolves and why that. And then at the end of the book, because he had to appease to the people that he was writing, like he was his audience, he did say that at the end actually.
No, actually, but in principle, what we don't talk about people. But especially by giving the name, I have been trying my best to avoid from giving the name because we don't know who did for what. I have no idea. We have just discussed and put under scrutiny, really see what's going on in behaviors. So methodologically, we have to follow the behavior. You want to
So correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm hearing you say is that if, as a human being, your attributes will ask of you to observe the universe around you, and if you don't make a conclusion thereafter, you're not fully practicing your human quality. Is that what you're saying? I personally have issue with that analysis because, and I think I resonate with the two brothers, your two sides, saying that, like for us human beings, it's a constant process of exploration. You don't always have an answer in your, at the tip of your hand. So why do I have to, why do I have to have a conclusion each time that I'm observing?
No,
why can't I leave it? Sorry?
You can have an observer, you can have a conclusion for every question, but saying that, not qualifying it, saying that there must be something not of the nature of the thing appears to be here, but I will going to investigate which kind of qualities it says. For example, here is a book, very simple, very simple. I am reading the book. First time, as a human being, it makes sense. The sentence gives me meaning. Because I've never seen anything at all. I'm seeing the pages and the inks, the trace of inks on it, something. I'm reading it, very simple, and saying, what is the source of this meaning? And at first, experience says, here is the paper, here is the ink, here is the shape of the ink, and these are, the meaning is coming from them. Then this is the usual trend, people stop there. The meaning is coming from the paper, the ink, and the shape of the ink, shape of the ink, all right? But what we are saying here, you are a human being, go and ask, can the ink, can the shape of the ink, I'm using this one in a particular way because the people study the actions in the cell of this certain people in biology, in microbiology. So they go under the shape is the source of it. Not the ink, come on. We are not that stupid. By attributing it to the shape, they seem intelligent. Here it is. Can the shape of the ink be the source of existence of meaning that I'm experiencing? Experiencing the meaning. So I say, no. These cannot be the source of meaning. So that is the first stage which confirms squarely, perfectly, to my mind, when the Quran introduces La ilaha. There's no source. There is no source of any existence in the universe. The universe, let me complete. And the argument will complete and then continue. The universe cannot be the source of itself, its own existence. So that in the Quranic language means la ilaha. Don't take this necessarily meaningless translation of la ilaha, there is no God. But there's no other way to explain it. You can explain another way. There is no God. It means nothing can be the source of its own existence. That's human logic as well. Say, oh yeah, thank you for clarifying it. So, coming to the acknowledgement of the author of the book, who he or she is, which kind of language knowledge she has, what I understood from her effort to transfer her knowledge to me, then it becomes subjective to me. Look at the stages very carefully. First, observation. The second is sure a priori conclusion. The third is objective conclusions for yourself. I'm sorry, I made a big mistake. Subjective conclusions for yourself. I read the book and say, for example, the author of this book is a real great theology. I really admire it. Wow, and personal studies. I read a lot of theologies, but this is a great man. Makes the things simple and clear. So it's a great scholar. This is my subjective conclusion. And this guy reads and says, it's a simple-minded man. It is subjective to him too. That's why, look, be careful about, we are talking a very simple but very basic fundamental matter, about the existence of an conscious author, which wanted to convey the message through this book, definitely exists.
There's no doubt about that.
No, that is obvious. No, we cannot say this is subjective. The people's belief is subjective. It's simple-minded people. Don't buy. I don't buy them, whether you do it or your choice. I cannot buy them. Belief is, if you like, real objective conclusion for me, but about my perception of the qualities of the author is subjective to me. That's, we should not speak in universal terms. My understanding of the creator's qualities is the best. Well, because I read the scripture. What did you read? Okay, what God is wise. What did you understand from what being wise is subjective to you? Why don't you be modest? Why do you go beyond your human qualities? Because you cannot make a sure statement about the qualities of the creator or maker or the author of the book according to your perception of it. Look at the difference now. 3 completely different stages: observation, a priori conclusions, and subjective perception about the qualities of your conclusions. Now, subjective doesn't mean that you cannot trust. No, it means it is subject to your capacity. You read the book first time, you understand that this man has read some classical scholarship, yeah. And the second time you read, yes, he said he read them, but he was really very careful. What is right, what is wrong, logically consistent or not. The third time you read it, you understand that he was really extremely alarmed. He never taken away or carried away by any assumption at all. You know the stages? You yourself changed. How can you say that is your definite? No, you yourself make development. In the language of the teachings of the Quran, it says, Iman, belief, is from one side is absolutely correct, the existence of a creator. Absolutely. Not of the nature of this universe. La ilaha. But there must be illahu. There must be someone. So he gives the explanations, and you understand as much as you understand. It has no end in your understanding. Grades and grades and grades. For example, if you ask a person who studies in the middle school, for example, elementary school, did you take any math class? Yeah, last year I did. Did you pass the class? Yes, I passed the class. It means I completed. Does he know everything in mathematics? It's subjective to his level. Subjective to his level. That's why we hear from the students of the Prophet Muhammad. They say, yes, belief is absolutely correct for me, but my affiliation to the belief is really sincere. Sure, I am not sure. Do you understand the difference now? At which level? It doesn't make the truth subjective and relative. The truth is absolute. My perception of the truth is relative to my capacity. We have to make these distinctions. Otherwise, if we use a universal language, total language, I got the first. Iman, Islam is absolutely correct. Like that is a stupid claim, contrary to human nature. Contrary to human nature, right? The black. Press on the black. Press on the black. Yeah, wait. Just wait. No, this brother. You don't want to. Yeah. No, they will come. They will come. They have things here as well. Bring them. Bring it. So yeah, because people. Yeah, because. They are related.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for taking care of it. Or leave it here so they shouldn't forget here. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I was just going to ask, because I'm kind of confused at this point. Are we looking for the source of something in the moment that we're looking at it? Like at that moment, how is this happening?
Yeah.
Or are we looking for the source in time?
Because no. Never.
Okay.
Every moment. You know, if you are familiar with the language, which is called regress in English, tasalsul in Arabic. So if you go one step behind it, so for example, the tree is coming from the seed. And okay, where did the seed come? You lost. You lost. It is not consistent. Why? Can the tree, that's human, you have to ask, can the seed be the source of existence of the qualities of this tree? Right there. Right there. And then if someone asks, how about the seed? Okay. We can independently reason about the qualities of the seed. Independently reason. For example, here is the seed, and there are some elements going on there, cells, yeah, living cells in it, and these living cells are continuously doing something, whatever they call it. Of course, the biologists will observe what is going on there. As a human being, I will ask, can the particles of the seed itself be the source of existence of the qualities that I am seeing, observing in the activities of the elements? It means very simple. Can a particle be the cause of existence of the qualities that I see on it? It's very simple. That's why this analogy, the simple analogy, is extremely important. And this person, the author of this book, employs it almost everywhere, but it is not unique to him. It is the analogy employed by all human Muslim theologians, and later on taken up by non-Muslim theologians and philosophers as well, because it is so powerful what we see in this world, and our human qualities are here. So we have to communicate with the human, with the universes through our human qualities. No prejudice. Don't say, we should never say, what is this? This is moon created by God. Excuse me? How did it go? We have to make a conclusion. The Quran is persistent, insistent, using this expression. Be careful. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illahu. Not illahu. You cannot find them like this. In some cases, the sentence is long, yeah, and then you find at the end, illa huwa al-qadirul hakim, this kind of things. But really, the whole structure of the reasoning that the Quran teaches its reader, la ilaha illa hu. Who? Why who? I didn't say Allah. There is a reason. Because afterwards, this book cannot be the product of the paper and ink, but there must be a who, means he, somebody, something, there must be. And then investigation goes on, what kind of qualities that this author must have, according to my own human capacity, must have. So it perfectly fits my humanity. If someone says, do you believe that the Quran is something really extraordinary or something precious for you? I say yes. Why? Because it says La ilaha illahu. It squarely fits my humanity. That's me. Someone may not agree with me. Joking. So it is your turn.
I'm just trying to recall a conversation that we had months ago when we were talking about, I think it was proof by induction, and you were saying a sentence in like all swans are white, right? And then you said that there's a problem with that statement because it means that you've observed every single swan and came to the conclusion that they're all white.
Yeah.
So I feel that this is a similar situation where you can observe 1,000 swans, say, and then come to the conclusion they're all white. So all swans are white, right? But then someone else may come and say, wait a second, maybe swan 1001 is somewhere out there and it's black.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So in one way, I feel that the people that, anyone, including me, if I come to the conclusion that God must exist and nothing in this universe can be the source of its own existence, I am essentially saying all swans are white.
No, to me, no. I'm not saying that. There's a misunderstanding. That time I couldn't make it clear, and I don't know whether I will be able to make it clear this time. No. I don't say that. No, I don't say all swans are white. No, that is induction. Is a problematic.
Right.
And the Quranic statement never suggests this. Quranic statement says kullu shay. It means each of everything, every single thing. So Quran, it not only because Quran says so, it fits my observation, my capacity. I look at a particle. One particle, and say that this particle itself, in and of itself, cannot be the source of existence of its qualities. This phrase is extremely important, fundamental to our discussion. The existence of its qualities Therefore, there must be a source. Now, this is my conclusion. So I say, okay, how about the conclusion? Let's apply this to the book. I say, I'm reading here, it said the perfections of the universe, or what we're reading, this one, the insight of belief, the sentence says, the insight of belief. Okay, take the and T. Okay, I understand that the insight of belief is meaningful. So the word, the article, the is meaningful here because it carries a certain meaning. T in the is meaningful. So I'm asking the T there to be there, meaningful. This meaning, whatever the T represents, in here, T. Can the T itself be the source of its own position as it is meaningful as I see? I say no. My conclusion is this T, not the book. Be careful. This T is not the production of the papers and ink. There must be something else. Something else. Who is intelligent, free choice, with free choice, which conveys certain meaning through giving or preferring the T to be here. So this author cannot be of the nature of this book. Finish. T is enough. There is no need to study H next to it. It doesn't mean that I should be lazy. No, but for my logical consistency, I look at T. I never use induction. You know, this induction means, you know, all of you, everybody who doesn't know what induction is. Coming to a conclusion by studying individual things and adding to each other. I have observed 1,000 of them, so I can make a general statement like that. No, I am using only one object, and when it comes to studying H, in the THE, when it comes to studying H, I will make a special logical training again in the existence of H to be in the middle of this word and carrying a certain meaning.
But you're not going to say that every shape of ink in that book has purpose and meaning behind it.
No, you can conclude that, no, this T being here is a purpose behind it, and this purpose is consciously chosen. So, conscious being and the paper and the ink cannot have the source of conscious as a result of my experience. I am not going to be carried away by saying that, look, you know, it is meaningful. So if there was no ink, if there was no paper, there would be no meaning. So the paper and ink is the cause of existence of the meaning. This is superficial. This is shallow, and this is not human. This is not human. That is how they are cheating us. Taking one element from it, that's how the experiences really are carried away in the lab. Taking one element, take one element out of the lab conditions and look at the result. Instead of blue, it became yellow, for example. They say, this element is the source of blue. They say, it says very logical, huh? This element is creating, giving existence to blue. That is very generally used argument. So they call it proof in absentia. That's very famous. Proof in absentia. In practical science, it works. You know, if you don't have the steering wheel in the car, you will definitely have a crash. So because of the steering wheel, you save yourself. So steering wheel is saving you. That's very generally practical usage of it. But as far as the questioning the source of existence of the qualities we see in this world is concerned, this logic is not human. It's very shallow. It doesn't work. In proof in absentia is not really applicable in human reasoning, in human activities.
But to his point, since you're not able to generalize about the rest of the book, how can you then come to the conclusions of God as the creator of everything?
Now, as far as I can conclude, look, in our conclusions, we said these conclusions are subjective.
So if I want to generalize, I generalize for myself.
Yeah. So if I am saying T cannot be the source of its own existence, and the maker of T is the source of knowledge, must be the source of knowledge because I'm receiving knowledge from it, and it cannot be of the nature of this book and ink. So it is something not the book of this. That's why, not the book, the nature of the book and ink itself. That's why I say, La ilaha, it means the ink and the paper cannot be the source of existence of the meaning. Illahu, there must be an author. And this author cannot be limited to the existence of paper and ink. Must be something else. And in this sense, I cannot describe the author within the limitations of the language that I am describing the book. The paper, how many pages, the length of it, the width of it, etc. Right? The quality of the ink, I cannot describe. This language cannot describe the author. So which language I use in order to describe, it must be not of the nature of this universe. Means it cannot be describable in terms of numbers. Do you understand numbers in mathematics? So 1, 2, 3, 4, because they are all the same nature, really. 2 means 1 plus 1. 3 means 1 plus 1 plus 1. Like that. It goes on and on and on and on. So this cannot be the nature of the number.
Okay, so
what cannot be the nature of the number? That's my personal conclusion.
So having decided about not the letter T, but rather the nature of the letter T, I can then generalize the nature of the letter T to the nature of the other things in this universe.
In this, the paper and ink, and the shape of the ink. So what we do now, if someone says, how do you know that in another galaxy there is a God? It's
Yeah.
But this is illogical, because what I am saying is the creator of this particle cannot be of the nature of the universe. That's my conclusion. That's it.
Okay.
Who is he? I am not saying that I have seen him somewhere, you were sleeping and I saw him, he came and appeared to me. No, I am saying must be the logical conclusion. The stages shouldn't be confused. Observation, logical conclusion, and subjective analysis for yourself. Now, they are all different natures. So these stages must follow each one. Without you coming from the third stage to the first, describe the first stage this is just taken for granted religious culture. This is not really belief. This is culture. So, of course, we should reject culture as a human being. That's why we have to free ourselves from the influence of culture. Because without freedom, belief or conclusion cannot happen. So without freedom, what happens? Imitation. Imitation cannot be your conviction. Imitation cannot have certainty. Follow? So imitation cannot have certainty. If someone uses the typical language that I believe in God, I don't know, none of my business, I can't follow that. I'm comfortable within myself. So have your conclusions comfortably. That's why the another thing is the Prophet Muhammad emphasizes on maybe 100 different cases narrated in these are the narrated sentences from the Prophet. It says, whoever a grain of La ilaha illallah conviction this is saved. Because he can squarely spread this conclusion into his or her life comfortably. I belong to a one which is not of my nature. Yeah, you can explain everything and make everything in your life meaningful, but it is another subject. How can you really make a comfortable life for you? Because you ascribe yourself to a being which is not of the nature of this universe. I belong to the infinite one. Can you imagine that? Think about even one, I wouldn't say minute is too much. 1 minute is too much. Now, 60 seconds, man, you cannot really resist it. 2-3 seconds, think about your existence. So, I exist because of definitely somebody else, not of the nature of this universe. I belong to him. You know, you find yourself light, comfortable, confident. I belong to him, infinite being. My being now. Do you worry about anything at all for your, what will happen to me after I die? You belong to the infinite one. Why would you solve all your problems? But it doesn't mean that you should say, okay, I belong to God and sleep. That is tricky. So that gives, we should never confuse two things. Gaining confidence in one's existence is different from your relationship with the world. Confidence in one's existence is the heart of whatever you call belief is belief. But confidence, never blind. Never blind imitation. Never. It's not belief. It's nothing to do with religion to me. This is my conclusion. Any religion bases its argument. We believe. No. But it is only valid. Here is the lawyer or the lawyers. We the people. Yeah? We is applicable to secular values. In religious values, I belong to the absolute one. Not we, I don't know what you think. I belong to, that's my existence explained, squarely settled. It's beautiful. So I'm not competing then criticizing American Constitution, nothing to do with it. It itself says we are a secular constitution. Okay, within its own definition, it's a good constitution, really. You study the Declaration of Independence of America? Perfect. You think that as if you are reading Medina Treaty of the Prophet. It's really resonates it. But it is a secular setting. We are not really competing or comparing with a secular setting in my conclusion about my existence. Constitution never claims that it's going to explain your existence. It just says, I'm going to provide you a good society. That is something completely different. I'm speaking about my existence. So it is not, I just used it. Why the secular science or secular whatever, any secular discipline has to say we?
The good proof of that is that when you say the shahada, you say ashhadu.
No.
You use the I. You don't use the we.
Yeah, it's a point. Yeah, so I testify. It means I witnessed. It means I am convinced. Perfectly, right? It has stages, yes. As long as you say that this book has an author, the meaning that I get from this book is not coming from this paper. Right? That must be sure. But people who are great brain, who have great brain, say that this is the source of the meaning. You go crazy. What? Come down, man. All right, this minute. So you go crazy when I read them, when I listen to them. You are an intelligent man, really intelligent man. Why do you stop that at this stage? Why? What do you want to do? You want to be just against religion? What are you going to gain with criticizing the poor, ignorant people, following the culture? But speak to me. That's why I say the 22nd, not the 21st, it's a bit dubious. 22nd century, the science will turn into belief. I'm pretty sure. I'm feeling that. But people will say, I'm going to study this universe in order to understand the source of its existence. So I'm going to read this book in order to understand who the author is. Have you seen it? Are you stupid? The conclusion is not experiential. Conclusion is logical, human. So, have you ever seen any human being in the world who says, since I don't know the author, yeah, I have to because I don't see him. Yeah, most probably that. So, I don't see him, or then I don't know him, I cannot experience him. Show me the author. Look at how logical it sounds. For example, if I say this book has an author, have you ever seen any man? No, don't be stupid, man. No, I'm sure. Show me the author. Have you seen anybody saying this? But what is now prevalent in the stages, people speak on the stages, they say, show me experience, I will need evidence. Show me your conclusion, God, the creator. And you say, okay, show me the author of this book. He says, definitely, it has. How do you know? Without the author, intelligent man, a person, who has compiled these things here, written there, this book cannot be explainable in its existence. Never forget that. In its existence, you cannot explain it. So he also believes in something that he cannot experience. But when it comes to religion, obstinate, I don't know what they want. They want to just accuse poor people and not very well educated people, accusing their being on the wrong track, following the culture in the name of religion, and using them, exploiting their ignorance and criticizing religion. Now, man, what do you want to harm yourself? Saying that I am a product of an accident and making yourself meaningless. Anything which is the product of accident is meaningless. Can you bear your life as you are meaningless being here, purposeless, meaningless being? Does it make sense? Does it give any human satisfaction as you are meaningless being? So come on, if somebody tells me even one word which is a little bit insulting, then I get offended. Not meaninglessness for my existence. One word which degrades my human dignity, I get annoyed, react, and take the man to the court to punish him. But I am saying the whole universe, including me, are meaningless. No one is taking me to the court. That is the irony. That every person who says there's no God must be taken to the court. Because he's not insulting God, don't misunderstand me. He's insulting the universe, saying you are stupid. And including me, I'm in the universe. He's saying I'm stupid. Get it? Inshallah. Do we have any other objections, man? No, he said, mashallah. Thank you. So don't worry.
You may say also this is insane.
Who?
You may say is insane, is not insane.
So instead of what? Maybe it's a good word. This is insane, yes, but what you said not?
Instead of saying that is intentionally insulting the universe, you can say is insane.
But what he says is an insult to my existence. He's saying me that I am the product of accident, which means meaningless, purposeless, and it means I have no meaning. Can I say your being is stupid? What would you say?
I would say that if you are insane, I don't really care about the value of your
No, but
He's
if
not
some,
insane.
no, it is.
Not Dr. Ali, I mean,
I'm not
No.
saying that he is insane.
You're insulting
No.
him, though.
No, but when you say that I am insane in your, for example, if I steal your laptop, would you just stop there and saying that he's a thief, like that, or take him to the court?
I'll take it back.
Thank you. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. سبحانك, be a lawyer. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سر سورة القلم.